ready to go, gentlemen? We are somewhat live here, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Does Sports. Can't tell you what episode it is right now, and we are joined by, of course, the Jet, Fat Perez, Joey Coldcuts, and the first guy to back the Bob Does Sports program, to back the boys, the number one tour player to get behind us, Keegan Bradley. Mr. Bradley, how we doing today, pal?
I am pumped to be here. I follow you guys everywhere you go. I'm pulling for you. And it's so great to be here with you guys.
You really are, KB, and this is why it's important to us.
He's like the Godfather.
Yeah, you really. Keegan, for those who don't remember, and I want to get your take on just like from you seeing it from your end, you had us to the pro-am when we first met at Riviera, and that's when Joey Coldcut showed up in the three-piece suit. Did you at the time, like when you invited us and then you see Coldcuts show up, did you regret that at the time when you saw him?
Well, when you see Coldcuts, you expect some crazy outfit. So I felt honored that he went all out for the three-piece suit. But it was fun hanging with you guys last night, and we were riding up the elevator. I said to Steely, I feel so proud for you guys for what you've done, and I pull for you guys everywhere you go. I watch everything you do, and it's great.
Yeah, I mean, even from the time that we had the Riviera, it was like the first guy that really, really backed us. Now, let me ask you this. Out of all the places that you go, KB, you're always on the road. We were having a ball at the bar last night. Where does Memphis stand, golf aside? Where does Memphis stand and the whole trip stand here for you now?
So this is the first time I've stayed downtown Memphis. Steely and I, we've gone to a few nice restaurants, and it's definitely better than staying up by the course. Up by the course, there's nothing around there. So, but it's great. It's so hot here.
Humidity is
it's brutal. So you kind of have to. Once today, I'll be in bed at 8:00 and trying to drink as much water as I can because it's brutally hot. But we got a lot at stake this week. So it's today's the day where things start to get pretty serious, and a lot of things can change in the first FedEx Cup playoff event.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to say, Keegan obviously followed. We mentioned Bob that he followed us early on and reached out to us, but you've kind of been involved in the social media game for some time now, because there was a time where you were involved with Barstool as well, and you were making videos with them and their guys back in the day. So, like, how do you think? Obviously, you're obviously a big component of it. How do you think social media can help enhance the game of golf, and like, what would you think, like, moving forward would be the best way for the two to intertwine?
Yeah, early in my career, I was heavy on social media. And as I've gotten older, I've sort of pulled back a little bit.
Yeah.
But nowadays, everything is based off social media. Most of the deals that we get, corporately are based around social media. So, it's a great tool to have in terms of getting yourself out there and people knowing who you really are off the course. And it's also a great way for me to connect with you guys or connect with people that, are into the game of golf. And I just love the content that you guys produce in Barstool and whoever it is. And it's just a great way for me to sort of feel what's going on in the golf world.
Yeah, I kind of feel connected in I like to think that, Keegan, you see you're getting older, but you're like right involved in the middle of everything. And, just even the connections and the stories, Bob, that he has is unbelievable. Some of the things that he was telling us yesterday about, your connection with Michael Jordan and some of these guys. It's like, Keegan, I think you're so locked in on the course and you're so dialed in that we don't really see that kind of personality. And that's what we were talking about earlier too, is that, with golfers, I think there's kind of this mentality that you have to really, obviously you have to focus, but with the Bo Hossers and someone like yourself, you don't see this fun personality side to you that we get. And that's what is so awesome about golf, that we really think we could help bring out the best of them. No, Bob? Like, and show that side and that whole element of the golfer.
Yeah, so you've gotten both worlds. So like you've kind of got like the old age, like old school golf as well, and now you're kind of getting it to where it's like this whole social media thing and the younger audience. Do you feel like a younger audience coming into the game now?
I do. I feel like I even feel like since the pandemic, I feel like everybody got into golf, and people are so into playing and watching and, social media content. And I feel like the game has really, it reaches everywhere now. I feel like when I was a kid, Tiger Woods, I felt like made the game cool. I remember when I was a little kid, I used to have to take the school bus to the golf course, the local golf course. And I used to be just like, it was so, like, people were like giving me shit on the way out. Like, and then as I got older, I realized like all these guys wish they played. And I feel like nowadays, golf is cool again, and it's great to see.
Do you feel, you mentioned Tiger, do you feel, because I think he might have, even when we were in Riviera, he might have like been there or around the
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
He was.
do you feel when he's there around the clubhouse, is there just like a different buzz in the air when somebody like Tiger's there?
Yeah, it's a totally different tournament and vibe when he's there. I remember my rookie year. It was back then. You started at the Sony. You didn't play the fall, and so Torrey Pines. I played Sony, and then Torrey Pines, and I was on the putting green at Torrey Pines, and I heard it was like this buzz. Something was different. Like it was like a commotion, and I turned around and Tiger walked on the putting green, and it was like my moment of like, holy cow, this is serious. Like I'm here. There's Tiger. We're playing in the same tournament. So you feel his presence, especially now. He's sort of, he's taken on a different role. I feel, he still wants to win and beat everybody, but he's really wants to help the game and help the younger guys, and that's cool.
My dream, Bob, is to see Fat Perez on a putting green with Tiger Woods.
I mean, that would be
break the internet. That'd be it.
Could you imagine how
like that as well? That sounds nice.
Oh my God, that would be absolutely sensational.
I gotta think that Fat Perez is the best YouTube personality player. Like I'd put him up.
Wow, that's high accolades for the young man.
Yeah, I don't care about much in the world. I just kind of go about my business, but I am competitive when I get out there.
I'd take him in a money game. Who do you? Yeah,
You won yesterday, no?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, we did a little challenge on 11. Like,
You almost got a hole in one.
Pin knockout challenge with with you and the Busted Jack guys and Micah. And I mean,
KB,
I
he
took
pulled
that
one maybe 5 inches of the hole. Comes
straight
up
in.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that ball didn't hit the pin and come straight backwards to that finches. There was so much going on.
I mean, he just lives up to the hype. I come down, he's ripping down a cupcake at 8 in the morning.
Yeah,
It's just like,
that's our boy, KB.
This is the guy. This is the mascot.
Yeah.
Look at there it is.
I mean, it's very on brand. But I will say Perez is like, I think he's just like, people think it's a gimmick almost, Bob. You know what I mean? Like they think it's an act. And I tell people all the time, it's not. He's just absolutely out of control, and we love him for that.
Feelings.
But
Go get him, Perez.
But I think Perez in the next year is going to be the biggest YouTube star going. But we need to desperately get you out on the course and get a match with you, Keegan. I think that would be so fun. I think we would have a blast, and we'd have Jet out there doing his thing, filming, and I think it would be so fun to have you. So we got to try to get you out at some point.
I would love to.
KB, do you, with all the golf that you play, okay, like if you just play, like, you just go out to go fuck around, and do you enjoy those rounds almost more sometimes, or do you not even enjoy just like playing golf, just messing around out there?
My favorite thing to do still in my life is to go play with my buddies and go have a match.
There you go.
And then I have, buddies that play on the PJ Tour, and I love doing that too. But if I have a game back home with, 3 of my buddies and we're going to have a match, I can't wait. I look forward to it so much. So
who are you picking if you have to pick 3 guys to go out and golf with?
So, Brendan Steele, who you met last night.
He was
Character.
a character.
Absolute
Yeah, he's a character. I love hanging out with Steely because I can just sit back because he never shuts up. So I just sit back and let him roll.
I feel Bob
And my buddy John Curran, I went to high school with, he played on the tour forever. And Jamie Lovemark, who also played the tour. They all, Steely lives in California, but the other 2 live in Jupiter. So we play all the time.
Man, we had so much fun with him last night. And we putting down a few cocktails. He was an absolute character.
When he gets rolling, you just got to get out of the way. He's just gonna go.
How many holes do you think a match with these 3 would go with you?
Is it you two?
It's 3-man with Perez.
That's what we
Yeah.
would do.
I gotta
with you.
if it's a match like that, I gotta play pretty good. I would think. I'd have to be ready to roll because the boys, you guys have been playing good lately.
Getting there, man.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
we have some
Nice.
surprising moments followed by long-standing periods of mediocrity.
I have so many. When I'm watching these videos, I want to text you guys because I have so many things I want to tell you. We have got to figure out the bunker play number 1.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it's an
I know.
absolute.
It's really.
Well, you
it's
were going to
really
have
pathetic.
somebody reach out to us. Yeah,
Yes.
you had enough
Yeah.
of it to where you texted me. You're like, hey, I got a
Like,
guy that can help you with the
It's
bunker.
like, I see it go in the bunker. I'm like, oh god.
We can't do it. We're not doing it. We're gonna take a 45-yard wedge shot,
Yeah.
tight pin over a bunker. Like we got to take that shot. We're not
The
doing
other
this
thing
fucking
I
shot.
always see is you two are always using blade putters. Do you know how much harder it is to putt with those putters?
They don't.
Do you think we should
now.
be putting with mallets?
It'd be like you using a tiny little blade iron.
This
I see him with the putter. The toe is up like this.
Yeah.
Well, I
like-
did get a new. I did get
The
a
new
new putter.
putter- the new putter
and
has
I'll be
it-
honest,
has
since I got
it
the
down.
new
Putting
putter,
well.
my
You're
putting has drastically improved.
It's all about the
from how
putter,
bad
Cut.
it was.
Yeah,
it's still not great.
You guys are using these mallets. I'm like, oh my god. This is the bigger the putter, the easier it is to make putts. That's basically it.
Perez probably used the biggest putter out of the
Yeah,
three of us.
that's
He's the
yeah.
best putter by
I
far.
always use blades too, and I still like a blade, but yeah,
It's
the,
just
the
hard.
reality is like it sets up, it goes straight. I mean, it makes short putts so much easier at the alignment.
The point, not to get too technical and boring,
Go for
but a mallet putter has a higher MOI, which means you can mishit it and it's going to be easier. It's not going to go offline as much. It's like using a bigger driver. You know what I mean?
You got
So
weight
when I
towards the
see
back and
when
the
I
edges.
see cold cuts over a 4-footer, the putter's like this off the ground. I'm like, this has no chance.
Me and Cuts are going to
She's
show up
trying
with
to
the
pull
biggest
it, right?
mallet.
You know,
Yeah.
you should be texting me these things.
I was good
Keegan.
at
I
it.
would love to
Yeah.
get some little input. You
remember
know,
those ping what was like docks? That
Yeah.
were like this big. These
Yeah.
massive. They were like half pizzas. We should get a hold of those. For
Yeah,
you
you know
guys.
when and maybe it's a mental thing too, but like I was even using like the spider one, and like it feels like the ball was bigger than the face
Yeah.
of the putter, and I couldn't make anything.
Okay, well,
You know, so we
Yeah.
gotta get the big old mallet there.
the other on the tour they every week, like on the greens, there'll be all the putter companies. And just yesterday I was with Steely and I grabbed a blade putter and I was like, I couldn't break 80 if I had.
and we don't.
Yeah.
we definitely don't break
And
80.
we absolutely
Very
don't.
rarely. But it must be like, as a good golfer, it must just be horrifying to watch some of the shots. that we
Horrifying.
make.
Yeah.
Keegan was leading up to the Barstool match before we would play him. I would go to the range and then I would just send Keegan a video of my swing, and then he would like screenshot it and then like kind of
Yeah.
dissect like what we were doing.
You probably had no more room on the picture to write down the advice and what you had to change. You know.
KB, I got to, because we got to get you out of here to go. You got the tournament, of course, so you got to go and get rolling with that. But before anything, one of my favorite all-time stories that I need you to tell is me and Cutsy talk about it. We were trying to describe it to them in the pool, but I feel like we kind of botched it
We
maybe a
did.
little bit. Was you going on vacation with Michael Jordan, who's your boy, and you trying to get him onto the basketball
with Brady,
court?
too.
Yeah.
With Brady too.
Who's
Yeah.
the fourth person? We couldn't figure out who the fourth
It
guy
was Luke Donald.
Luke Donald.
Yeah.
That's right. We couldn't.
Well,
remember.
one of the strangest things in my life is in the position I'm in is meeting some of my idols, and then the even stranger thing is becoming friends with some of them. And MJ is the greatest guy. I can't say enough good things about MJ because of the way he treats me, but not only how he treats my friends, the guys that I grew up with, but just like my buddies. They play golf with them, hang out with them without me now. So he's just a good dude, and it's so fun to be able to, he'll shoot me a text after a good round, or if I gotta, if I'm in the final group, and he'll give me some advice. And it's like I've become sort of immune to it, but then I'll tell somebody, one of my friends, and they'll be like, God, that is so amazing.
That's
And,
unreal.
but we were on vacation, and he is just obsessed with playing golf. Like, of anybody I've ever met in my life, it's him. And like Luke and I, we're kind of like, we don't really want to go play golf right now.
Right.
Like, we want to hang out. And I was like, let's go try to shoot some hoops, see if we can get MJ out
God,
there.
I love this so much.
And so Luke and I, we were getting ready to go, and he's like, "Where are you guys going?" "We're gonna go shoot some hoops." like, all right, I'll see you later. I was like, all right, see you. Have fun. Stay here. And at the last second, he goes, all right, I'm going to come, but I'm not going to bring my shoes. I'm like, okay, it's fine. We go, and there's actually videos of this game on
It
YouTube.
went viral, yeah.
Yeah. And so we're going there, and we're playing like 21, and then Tom Brady drives up. He's there too, and he starts shooting around. Now, this is, I would, in terms of my idols, Brady is like, this is my guy. And so midway through the 21 game, MJ leaned over and said to somebody, "Go get my shoes back at the house." And we were just like,
game on.
And then we played a pickup game. It was Brady, MJ, and this other guy with me, Luke Donald, who's 5'5", and another one of his friends who's shorter than Luke Donald. And I had to guard Tom Brady, and he was going so hard. Like,
Really?
I'm like, I don't want to hurt myself because like my life. And I'm thinking, if I hurt Tom Brady, I'm never gonna be able to go home the rest of my life. I told him at one point, I go, dude, you gotta chill. This is like really like you're going way too hard. Like he's like
posting up.
yeah. Like I think like I'm a pretty good athlete and basketball player, and Brady was like posting me up, throwing elbows, like backing me down, and I'm just like, but it was.
It must have been unreal for you though at that moment.
It was unreal, and actually, ESPN or SportsCenter or someone just posted the video, and it's always Michael Jordan and Tom Brady played a pickup game.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Stop.
I'm right there.
Give the guy credit. I mean, he made the whole
You
thing
made it
happen.
happen.
I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
But didn't a bunch of people come and start watching?
So
Yeah, the whole like resort
the
slowly
whole
built.
everybody. This is what's so unbelievable about Michael Jordan, because I have the fame a 1/1 billionth of Michael Jordan, and
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable with it. If I feel like I get nervous. I can't explain it. When people start doing this to MJ, he like thrives. And he starts talking to the crowd, he's talking shit to people, and it was just like he's in his element, and it's so fun to watch. And what was shocking, shouldn't be shocking, but it was we were in the Bahamas, and it was super windy, so it's hard to play basketball outside. And he was shooting these shots, and they were like punch shots in golf, and they were just hitting the back of the rim and going straight down. It was unbelievable. He would make every shot he looked at. So it was, he still got it.
We're gonna
Got
have
it.
to. Jed is a big Chicago Bulls guy. I would love somehow if we could get a picture at some point with Michael Jordan.
I thought you were
You
gonna
know,
say
you know,
around, I was
MJ
gonna
watches
say-
Bob Does Sports every Thursday.
He was the first subscriber, right?
Keegan,
Jed?
show him. Be like, check him out.
I actually recently MJ came to my wedding, and I was coming around for my first dance, and I see MJ, and there's like a line of 30 people trying to get his picture. And I'm in the back, like about to walk out for my first dance, and my wife Jill, I'm having a panic attack. I'm
'Cause
like,
you got to worry about him.
I'm like, oh, this is my worst nightmare. I come around the corner, and one of our family members has this like porcelain doll in his hand, and he does a thing where he takes pictures of it everywhere, and he's like, it's in MJ's hand. He's taking a picture. I'm having a meltdown. And my wife is like getting pissed. She's like, this is our first dance of our marriage. Like, you have got to let this go. Because I'm like, tell everyone to get the F away from MJ. Let him enjoy his life. So, long story short, I text him the next day, and I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like, please, like that. Thank you for doing it. And he's like, what? It was great. We had the best time. Like, he didn't even. I don't know if he's used to it. I don't know if he was
So
used to being
normal.
nice. But then recently, I was at a family reunion. I don't know if that's the right word, for my wife's side of the family, and that we're all at the wedding. And I actually texted MJ. This is the type of guy he is. I had 10 people come up to me and go, I just got to tell you. This is years later. All separate people. I just got to tell you, MJ was the nicest guy to us.
Wow.
He sat with us. He talked with us. He took a picture. And then they'd all take their phone out and go, look, these are normal. We're from Vermont. These are like normal, like really normal people that are like, they don't come across celebrities.
Right.
And 10 separate people come up to me and showed me pictures. And it's like, I texted him. I was like, thank you. So, like that's the type of guy he is.
That's awesome.
So Dave would take a picture with you. Is the long story to that? Yeah.
Get him out there. 3v1.
Jet will fly in.
Jeff would not even crack a smile
You
underneath the
imagine
photo.
just going to get an hors d'oeuvre and you go to grab a crab cake and then MJ's right next
That
to you
would
grabbing
be-
a
yeah.
quick.
I mean, there was it was a line. It was like he was doing a corporate gig. Like they were lined up like this, and I'm like, and I'm already like, I got to do this first dance, which I'm not a dancer, so I'm freaking out anyways. And then I'm like, oh, this is my worst nightmares coming true.
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah.
That's
But then to later on hear the people come up to me all separately and have a story about how nice MJ was to him. It was incredible. It was amazing.
It's unbelievable.
Tom Brady can play?
Yeah, I yes. Like he embarrassed me. Like he shut me down.
What did he say when you told him to just kind of cool it a
No,
little
he's
bit?
just like he doesn't care.
yeah,
And meanwhile,
he ramped it up.
I always find with these quarterbacks is they're all so tall. They're way
Man.
taller than
Yeah.
you think.
Yeah.
So like he's like towering over me. He's like I can't get a rebound. I can't do anything. And he's just a competitive guy and super athletic. Like,
And his golf game has gotten pretty good too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how some of these guys are so athletic. They can just pick up any sport and somehow be really good at it. Like I was with Josh for the ACC tournament, and this guy can hit the ball 345
Yeah.
yards, and it's just like he's got to hone in a couple things. But like I'm like, dude, if you can get a couple things going, you could be unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's like that's just something on the side that they do like just for kicks. It's unreal. So it's so cool to see. And I just want to ask you one more question before we get move on. I think in many ways, Keegan, you represent like the face of the PGA and like the old school like guys who've been tried, tested, and true. With everything that's going on right now, like what is your mentality like with everything that's going on? I just want to know, like, kind of pick your brain a little bit and like get your insight on how you see everything with the PGA and live and like where you stand with everything.
yeah, it's a really strange time for the PGA Tour and professional golf. I grew up wanting to win PGA Tour events and play in the tour. I don't fault any of these guys for going for the amount of money they're getting.
Yeah.
I was telling you guys last night, we have no guarantees. If I go out next year and lose my card, I'm out of a job. So the thought of having a 4 or 5 year contract with I have 2 little kids, like in playing less, it's pretty appealing, to be honest. But for me, at this stage in my career, I would love to, it would hurt me to not be able to try to win the Memorial, to try to win the Players, Bay Hill, to not have the opportunity to go play those would be difficult. So for me, I'm happy with the tour, but I can't blame any of these guys, especially some of the guys that are younger guys that haven't made as much money, and they're making tens of millions of dollars. How could you ever blame somebody?
Did you ever think something like this would happen? Like we talked about last night, Bob. It'd be like the NFL getting a rival league. Like it's just hard to comprehend.
It is. I don't think anyone really thought it was going to happen. There's been talks of this for 5 to 8 years, and it was always this is going to happen in the future. And I don't think anybody fully realized that this was going to actually happen. And when it did, it shocked a lot of people. I think a lot of the people at the tour were pretty shocked too.
Is as much as like the media talks about it and we as fans talk about it, is there a lot, and we touched on it a little bit last night, but is there a lot of talk amongst the players about it and who you guys think is going to leave and this and that?
Yeah, we always joke around with like Steely and our buddies. There's always a section of dinner or wherever that it's a live section every night. Every night. It's like this is the let's just talk about this, get it over with, because we all know some guys that are going that no one knows about,
Right.
And then there's always the rumors of guys. So there's the guys we know, and then there's the rumors that and we all discuss it, and then we discuss how nice it'd be to have a contract and how nice it'd be to get all this upfront money, and then it's always the same conversation, and then the end of the conversation is, but we want to play the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Right? We want to, it's always when we're like, oh, we're talking about this again. And next thing you know, 30 minutes has gone by. But it's just, it's surreal, honestly. That's the word I would use, because you grew up your whole life wanting to be here, and then all of a sudden there's another thing that other people are going to. It's scary because you don't want to miss out as well.
It's curious because it's, the reasoning that you're explaining and what it seems like is just like it falls back on like nostalgia and like history and having a trophy that you feel like represents something that's bigger than, you've won something that these players have won in the past, or you remember this person winning it. And it's interesting that that's kind of it almost seems like, all that stuff is on this side of a pro, but then this con is just kind of nostalgia. And it's, to me, I sit and think like, how much staying power does that reason have?
Yeah, I mean, also, the big one is not being able to play the majors.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the big one. If you've just recently won a major and you're in the majors for the next 5 years, it makes the decision a lot easier. But yeah, I mean, winning the Memorial, some of the bigger PGA Tour events or Bay Hill or the Players is a big deal.
Yeah.
I think winning majors is the best, but being the winner of Memorial is like that's something you can think about the rest of your life. I don't think winning one of these live events will ever be the same, but maybe it will. I don't know.
Well, even the last U.S. Open where you were like the hometown kid, you could tell. I mean, that meant a ton to you. I don't know where did that like rank in terms of your career? Because you played really well.
Yeah.
And at the end, you could tell how emotional you were getting.
Yeah, it was. I went to the Ryder Cup there in '99, and on Friday and Sunday at that tournament, I tell a lot of the guys that played on that team that event changed my entire life. Mm-hmm. And I was there on 18, and I was telling Davis Love this yesterday because he was on the team. The crowd stormed the green on 18, and I was with my dad. I was like 12. Hmm. And I said, Dad, I really, no cell phones or anything then. And I was like, I really want to run out there. And I think about having kids now. I would never let my son do this, but he goes, all right, go out there, run around. I'm going to stand next to this crooked tree. And so I went out there and I ran around, and I came back and I was at the tree, and then I'm coming up 18 in the practice round, and I can see the same crooked tree.
Oh, that's
so
crazy.
It's crazy. And then, it was a really stressful week for me. I threw out the first pitch at Fenway, which was so horrifying. I can't tell you. I'm done. I've retired. I've done it twice. I've retired. I don't enjoy a second of it. I did okay, but I was standing behind the mound, and I had 2 beers before.
Good. That's a good.
That's good. Yeah,
that's a good number.
Take an edge off.
And I was so nervous, and I texted another member at the Grove, Justin Verlander, the pitcher. I texted him. I was like, "Hey, dude, I need some advice. I'm really freaking out." And he goes, "Just get on the mound and throw it as hard as you can." I go, "Dude, that's the worst advice." I go, "If you asked me about how to play golf, do you think I'd tell you that?"
Yeah.
I go, I'm thinking you're gonna give me this like sage advice, and I'm like, "Oh wow, that's great."
Throw it as hard as you can.
So I'm behind the mound, and I'm holding this big check. It was like a first tee thing. And I started to get fuzzy, like I was gonna pass out.
Oh, no.
Like this is
Like me
this
on
is
the
how
first tee
ridiculous.
box. Yeah.
So I get a little now when pro-am guys are like, I'm nervous, and I'm like, why are you nervous? No one cares.
Yeah.
But I got up there, I threw a decent pitch. But this all factored into how stressful this week was. And then I get there, and I have to. The USGA gives me like 40 tickets. Like normally you'll get like 5.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
I get out there, and the fans were just like, it was. When you dream as a kid, wherever you are, for me it was Fenway and Gillette Stadium and Boston Garden, but you never get that chance to live that out. I felt like I was in Fenway. That'd be the way I'd describe it. I'm walking up 18, and it would have been amazing, but playing the way I did made it even more special.
Right, yeah.
And I'll remember it for the rest of my life. It was truly, if I could have won, it would have been ridiculous, but I'm proud of the way I played because it had a lot of pressure, and the whole week was stressful. But it was just I'm more proud of that week than some of my wins, just because of how I handled the pressure of being at home and the family, and it was great.
And Bob, we were there. We were there on 18. I'll never forget. It was the Saturday round or the Friday round? It was a Friday round, and for those you don't know, Keegan's caddy is like the biggest character of all time.
Nobody has more fun.
We
than
love Scotty.
Yeah.
Scotty box office is just an absolute character. And so, Keegan, you were walking up 18. Everybody's like, cheering for you in this. And I said, Bob, I said, let's get Scotty riled up. So we were on the 18th tee box in the Corona tent, and we start to, Scotty! And I don't think he's used to like having, the caddy again. Well, Scotty, he looks up and he sees us there, and he was just captivated. Scotty, we love you. And he's just pumping his fist and looking at us. Meanwhile, Keegan's like 30 yards ahead of him, like waiting for his club. And we're like, we love you, Scotty. And he's just, and then he sees like Keegan's waiting for him, and he starts running up to Keegan with his bag on.
I'm walking up the 18th hole. Everyone's cheering for me. It's like an emotional moment. And Scotty goes, "Did you see the boys yelling at me back there?"
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
man.
Whenever
Yes.
we
Such
call
a
his
legend.
name,
Yeah.
he's ready. He's just waving at us. It's like
That's
nothing
me.
else.
I'm Scotty.
At Phoenix, when you were doing the what do you call it, the heckling?
The heckling, yeah.
So I think we saw you on the 10th, and we walk up, and he goes, "I just told him you were jalapeno hot. That's gonna get on the show." And sure enough, it did.
Dude, that's
So funny, man.
Because
He's the best.
because caddies, part of their job is to protect, and they can get, like, Scotty can get nasty to the crowd, like all the caddies can, and so I have to, like, beforehand give a little, hey, the Bob Does Sports guys could be out there, like, don't kill him if they come talk to me.
He likes us so.
Oh my God, he loves you guys. Yeah.
So funny. We were with Keegan last night in the lobby bar, and I text with Scotty from time to time, but I hadn't texted him since like the middle of June, and it was like some intuition that he must have known that we were with you because we didn't post anything, and all of a sudden he's like, heard that the boys were out here today, and I'm like, I haven't talked to Scotty in ages. This is so random, but it's just, you two together are just awesome, and we couldn't be bigger fans of you, Keegan. We always root you on, and the fact that you support us, and also, kind of spread the good word, and I'm sure that you've talked to other players for us. It means the world to have someone like you on our side, and we can't wait to get out there and play with you guys.
Yeah, you guys have a big following on the tour, and so and in the world, but the tour players, they watch, and we discuss, and we discuss your all your bad shots, your bunker play.
There's plenty of them.
Everybody knows that you two are terrible bunker players.
We got to work on that this year.
We will,
Bob.
yeah,
We
that-
got to get that.
It can't get worse. I know that.
I can't.
Yeah, I'll.
I think it's mental. I've told them what to do. Like, I'm a decent bunker player.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is how you do this. You set up. This is how you do it. And they'll like do it, and it's this mental block.
The
They just, like,
backswings are
won't- they
so
just
short.
forget
They're
about
just
it.
like,
Oh,
like-
it's so bad.
yeah.
And
It's
he's
like,
telling
look
me,
away.
he's like, I'm trying to like it's hard to like know when to hit it harder or hit it softer. I'm like,
Oh, boy.
whoa.
Yeah.
Like, no.
There's your first
It's
issue.
the same.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Just take a little bit more sand.
Right.
Maybe a little bit more speed. They'll shorten or lengthen, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that's not good.
They're more scared of the bunker than you
Yeah.
were at Fenway.
Yeah,
Oh, 100%.
I know.
Yeah, we can
100%.
You
promise
should be.
that.
You guys
Yeah.
should be. Trust me.
How about Verlander, though? Just throw it as hard as
Yeah.
you possibly can.
Yeah.
From a
I
guy
work
who
for
throws
him,
90.
yeah.
How do I hit the fairway here? Swing for the fences.
And I'm texting him in like a serious, like not like I'm really having trouble because I'm gonna have 50 people there, and this is Fenway Park. This is my place, and I get that it's silly, but it just. And he goes, just get on the mound and throw it as hard as you can. Yeah. Thanks, bro.
Yeah,
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it. Yeah, thanks. Well, KB, as Joe said, we are always, one of the first things we do, just knowing how soon you were to back us, we'll check you in the standings. Where are you going? And
Yeah,
that'll
we
always
watch.
be the case, man. And we really do. We appreciate you. You've been here for the ground floor for us. And best of luck to you out this week and make us proud, man.
Thanks, boys.
All
We
right?
appreciate you
Nobody
guys.
better. Appreciate you, KB.